Void313 and we're back playing the Pokemon Emerald Randomizer. And before I do anything, I'd just like to point out or say that my neighbours are being quite noisy, so if you can hear that in the background, I am sorry. But anyways, in the last episode, we received the Pokénav from Mr. Stone, I believe his name was, and he told us that he had a letter to be delivered to Dewford Town to a man named Stephen, so today we will be heading off towards Dewford Town. So let us get going. First, I'd just like to point, we're developing a device for talking with Pokemon, but we haven't had much success. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Wow, that's Pokénav. It came as a result of our president's desire to learn about the feelings of Pokemon. Would you like me to describe its features in detail? No, you'll find out just by trying Pokénav out. But I think it's this guy. Well, what shall I work on developing next? Make inspirations reality, couldn't through better engineer. This produces dreams of Pokemon, so if you ever played Black or White, you'll know what that is. And this guy, a device that can resurrect Pokemon from fossils, and it's working. So if we ever do find a fossil, we know we can bring it back to Rustboro City to this guy and get the Pokemon from it. But for now, we can just head outside. I've been developing an added feature for the Pokénav, and it turned out great. May I see the Pokénav, the one our president gave you? There you go. I added a new feature named Match Call to your Pokénav. Using the Match Call feature, you can chat with people who have been registered in your Pokénav. Our President Stone should be registered in your Pokénav. Test it out. Please give the President a call. Okay, if we go into the Pokénav, you can see the new third row added called Match Call. So if we just head in there, we can see that the Devon President, Mr. Stone, has been added. So for now... Oh, Matthew? Since you called me, the Pokénav must be working properly. Other people will be registered, so call them up too. Good. Good. You seem quite happy. How could I know that? It's because I'm looking down for you from my office window. See you again. So yes, even though we called him, he was just glaring at us from his office. Okay, I'd better get back to work. Please take care. Now that we've got that, certain trainers that we face in the future, we will now be able to register in our Pokénav so that we may call up for a rematch. And if we take a quick look, we have May here. Oh, hi. You had a match call feature put on your Pokénav? Let's register each other so we can contact one another anytime. And just like that, our rival and neighbour May has been registered in the Pokénav. Oh, by the way, I passed Mr. Briny in Petalburg Woods, which obviously means he's gone back to that cabin now. I guess he's on his way home to his cottage by the sea, which I just said. How's your Pokédex coming along? Mine's looking pretty decent, so how about a little battle? This is an entirely optional battle, so you don't actually have to do it if you want, but just to show it off, I will. You just became a trainer, Matthew, so I'm not gonna lose. Now in this battle, your rival, it can be obviously either Brandon or May. Depending on which starter Pokemon you chose, they can have 3 completely different teams. I'll go over the one that May's using now, but for the other 2 I'll just leave those in the description. So for now, obviously for us, this is going on along if you picked Treeko as your starter Pokemon. You'll be facing off first against a Lotad that's level 13 with Swift Swim for the ability, and it knows the moves Nature Power, Absorb, Astonish, and Growl. So luckily enough at this point, it won't be able to use that Swift Swim ability just yet, and so really it shouldn't be much of a threat, especially since you picked Treeko, and this is Water Grass type, so you should have an easy enough time against it. For now, just use a knockoff and take it down. And her second Pokemon, which is the starter Pokemon that we faced a few episodes back, which is her Torchic. It was level 5 then, but now it's grown to level 15. It still has its ability Blaze. I don't know why it would have changed. But it knows the moves Ember, Scratch, Growl, and Focus Energy. Again, this is pretty straightforward, but since you chose Treeko, I'd advise using, obviously, a different Pokemon against it. And again, it's pretty basic battle, but since I've luckily got this water Pokemon, I can just use Whirlpool twice and deal with it. You're finished. Yikes, you're better than I expected. Oh, by the way, Mr. Briny, who I just passed, you just moved here, so you might not know this, but Mr. Briny was once a revered seafarer. And yeah, that's all she has to tell us, so I guess it's time for us to head back to his cottage since she says he was a sailor, and we need to get to Buford Town, which is, you can only get there by sea, so maybe he will be able to help us. And if we look at this sign, it's Mr. Briny's cottage. And even though I did it in the last episode, I'm not going to do the same voice that I gave him. Wait up, Pico. You saved my darling. We owe you so much. What's that? You want to sail with me? You have a letter bound for Buford and a package for Slate Partner? Quite the busy life you must lead, but certainly what you're asking is no problem at all. You've come for the right man. Shall we set sail for Buford? Yes. Anchors away, we're setting sail. And yes, we both managed to cram into this boat that's clearly big enough for one person. Oop, phone call. Oh, Matthew, where are you now? Sounds windy wherever you are. I just heard from Devon's Mr. Stone about your Pokemon, so I decided to give you a call. Sounds like you're doing fine, so that's fine with me. Take care now. So apparently, a phone call has the power to essentially stop a boat in its tracks. Although since it's a boat, it doesn't really have tracks. It essentially just has an underside. But anyway, that's besides the point. We've now arrived here in Buford Town. I suppose you have to deliver that letter to, who was it now? Stephen. We are, but first, I'd just like to obviously take a quick visit to the Pokemon Center, and if I'm able to find it, we are able to get, before we head down into that gym, there are a few items that we're able to get, the first one being here from this man, who will give us the old rod. Now in the traditional game, you're only able to get Magikarp, you'd only be able to get Magikarp and Tentacle here, but again, since everything has been randomized, there's obviously the possibility for any Pokemon at all. But like I said literally a few seconds ago, there should be another item around here, but I can't quite remember who it was, so I will just be talking to random people and hope that I can find it. But I believe it's from this guy here. Gorge your eyes on this. It's a silk scarf. It's right at the cutting edge of fashion. Yeah! I hate myself for saying that anyway. I can see your eyes twinkling. You appreciate my dazzling style. Oh, you're a delight. Here you go. I want you to have it. And yes, you can get the silk scarf for free just by talking to this guy. The silk scarf, just to go over it quickly, it's basically the same as the Miracle Seed, a hold item, except it's for normal type moves instead of grass types. But again, since we don't actually have either of those, there's no point in giving it to anything just yet. But again, for now, you can see there is the second gym just down here. And the leader is Brawly, a big wave in fighting. But since we've got a bit of time left, I think we should try and take on this gym. How's it going, Champion Band Matthew? Buford's gym leader commands fighting type Pokemon. Going against him with normal type is just asking for trouble. They'll lay a serious smackdown on the normal type, so be careful. What's worse, the gym is darker than the ocean floor. No it's not, I can see everything. Okay, so there may be something a little wrong with my game here then, but still. In the regular game, you would just have a small circle around you, but for some reason, I can see everything. But yeah, like the man said, they primarily use the fighting types here, so again, obviously, just go in for the... No? There was a sentence there, but it managed to disappear. But if you know pretty much anything about Pokemon, you'll know that the fighting type is actually weak against Psychic, and if you remember, our Amanda the Gorbis here, she does actually have the move Confusion, which will make life a whole lot easier. Okay, Brendan. So there's actually an NPC called Brendan besides the regular character. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, just in this multi-battle, we'll just take it down pretty easily. Whoopsie. Well, I didn't mean to do that. There, that takes it that quickly. You don't know how this happened. Yeah, if you heard that little click noise if you heard that little click noise just then, that was actually the sound that should have been made when the light got a bit brighter for you, so you'll probably hear it again once we do this. There, that little click there, that's that small area of light that should be surrounding you normally, that will have gotten a little bigger when you defeat these trainers. I'll just beat this guy quickly by one Confusion. Alright, level 17. And if you saw just a bit up there, that is the gym leader, but before we actually take him on, I would like to just go quickly heal up, so I'm obviously just in a little bit better shape. Oh, walking into walls, solid. I like how I've got perfect vision yet I still managed to walk into a wall. But anyway, let's begin something now. Anyway. I'm Brawly, Dewford's gym leader. I've been churned through the rough waves of these parts, and I've grown tough in the pitch black cave. So you want to challenge me? Let's see what you're made of. So yeah, here we are against the second gym leader of the Hoenn League, Brawly. Also, anyway, I'll just go over his first Pokemon is at level 16 Machop with the ability Guts, knows the moves Bulk Up, Leer, Karate Chop, and Seismic Toss. Just a pretty basic Pokemon here. You shouldn't really have any trouble. And like as you saw there, Bulk Up, that's essentially his signature move of this gym. It's a move that will increase both attack and defense one stage, if you want to call it that, each time you use it, so as long as you can take his Pokemon out pretty quickly, you shouldn't really have too much trouble with him. And his second Pokemon, as you will have seen there, is a Meditite. So, level 16 with the ability Pure Power, which doubles its raw base attack. Has the moves Bulk Up, Focus Punch, Light Screen, and Reflect. So, like his Machop, it can bulk itself up to make it stronger, but can also use Light Screen and Reflect to double both of its defenses, but also since it only knows the offensive move Focus Punch, as long as you can hit it, it can do literally no damage to you, so other than pretty much just being a bit awkward, this should probably be the easiest Pokemon of his team to take down. But as you saw by that, okay, maybe not by that, just use Nightshade again, and that should take down his second Pokemon, leaving him with just one left. Right. Next little bonus with barrel leveling up there. And his final Pokemon, Makuhita, I think will go against with Garlis. Makuhita, a level 19 Pokemon, so you maybe want to be a little careful when going against this. Level 19 with the abilities Thick Fat, which means fire type and ice type moves do half damage, or Guts, which doubles attack once it's got some form of status condition. And also, as you can see here, it's got the hold item of a citrus berry, which can restore its HP by 30. Has the moves Bulk Up, Vital Throw, Arm Thrust, and Reversal. So obviously it makes itself stronger, but a thing is here, it only knows fighting type moves, along with all of the other attacks. All the other Pokemon he has. So if for some reason by this point you have a ghost Pokemon like I do, he essentially cannot touch you. But anyway, since we had Confusion, we managed to take it down easy enough, and we've beaten Brawly. Whoa, you made a much bigger splash than I expected. You swamped me. You've got me. Take this gym badge. Okay. Receive the knuckle badge. Yeah, that final click there, that was essentially opening up the gym to essentially what this view that I have for some reason immediately should be. But anyway, the knuckle badge makes all Pokemon up to level 30, even those you receive in trades, obey without question. And you'll also be able to use the HM move Flash outside of battle, something we haven't quite got just yet. And also take this TM. We get TM 08, which, as you can probably guess, is Bulk Up. And like I explained, it raises both attack and defense. And just like that, he registers us in his Pokémon. Okay, I can see our talent becoming a giant wave causing a storm of astonishment among trainers today. I think I'm going to leave it here for this episode. Thank you for anybody who made it this far watching, and I'll leave it here. See you later.